recruit didn't flinch when the drill sergeant screamed in his face. He stood motionless in the scorching sun, sweat rolling down the sides of his jaw,
Cadet, step
eyes
forward.
fixed forward. Unblinking, the other recruits shifted nervously in formation, stealing. Glances at him, the quiet one, the loner, as if waiting for him to break. "You think you're the good to speak, huh?" The sergeant barked, his breath hot with rage. "Answer when you're addressed." Private, still nothing, not a blink, not a breath, not a sound. The silence was louder than the yelling now, the recruit's name tag. Red cowan stitched in simple black thread across his chest, his boots were polished to perfection. His posture military grade, but it wasn't arrogance that fueled his silence. It was something heavier, something deeper. The sergeant stepped closer. Now chest to chest. "You deaf, Callan, or just dumb?" A few recruits stifled nervous chuckles. One of them shook his head slightly, regret creeping in, but no one said a word. They knew better. Ken didn't move, but something caught the sergeant's eye, the corner off Ken's. Shirt had curled up slightly from heat and sweat, just enough to reveal the faint edge of a tattoo. Federal sergeant squinted. "Lift your shirt, private." Still, Ken didn't move now, reluctantly. Ken reached down and lifted his shirt just enough. The platoon fell silent, the air changed. There across his ribs, etched not in fresh ink, but old and faded, were 4 names, small black letters, no color, just black for names stacked like gravestones. "Do Bennett Lopez Marcosti." The sergeant froze, his lips parted slightly. The anger in his eyes replaced with something softer, recognition, because those names weren't random. They weren't just friends, they were heroes, names etched into a wall halfway across the world. Names remembered only by those who were there. The sergeant stepped back slowly. "How old are you, private?" His voice dropped, not in volume, but in weight. 24, Callan said quietly. His first words in 4 days. The sergeant nodded, eyes still fixed on the names. "You were in Kandahar." Callan didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence told the truth. He had worn a different uniform before, not this fresh recruit's attire. But combat gear weighed down with blood, sand, and memory. He had lost those names. On his side in one afternoon that he hadn't spoken much since, now he was back. Not because he had to be, but because nothing inside him needed to be. May Beto finish something. Maybe to feel as full again, maybe because ghosts follow closer in silence. The platoon didn't laugh anymore. The sergeant stood upright, his voice no longer that of almond shouting at a subordinate, but of a soldier speaking to another. At ease, Private Ken stepped back into formation. But the energy round him had changed. He wasn't the quiet recruit no more. He was a survivor, a soldier among soldiers. And the drill sergeant, he turned to face the rest of the group. "You'll meet men like Ken. Men who carry more on the inside than you'll ever see. When they don't speak, it's not weakness. It's discipline earned in fire." There was no lecture after that. No moraling, just a long pause, a weight shirt across the field. From that day forward, Ken remained mostly silent, but silence no longer felt empty. It was secured, it was earned. And though Hanover said it aloud, those who surveyed beside him would often remember one Lennon once whispered. When asked about 32, "I carry their names so I never forget who I lived for." That line would echo across barracks for years, a quiet reminder of the cost of peace and the strength of silent warriors. Some stories don't scream. Some whisper through scars that if this story moved you, tell us where you're watching from. Backhand index pointing down. Share your thoughts in the comments. Bell. And subscribe for more true stories that are our silent heroes.